Welcome to the video on piston ring and cylinder inspection on your 503 or your 582 Rotax aircraft engine. This is a dual purpose video. It's something as a maintenance item that you should really do every 50 hours, or you should do it immediately if you have any significant performance issue. Like when you're taking off under full power and the engine wants to lay down a little bit, you want to do this inspection immediately before you fly the airplane again, or try and fly it. During this inspection, we'll show you how to inspect the piston rings to see if they're stuck, and also to check the cylinder walls and the side of the piston to see if there's any scoring present. If either one of these are an issue, the rings are stuck or there's any scoring present, you need to seek professional help. Don't fly the airplane anymore. If it's a performance issue and that you were having and both of these items look fine, then continue to look at other items as required. However, don't try and fly the airplane again until it's been tied down and run under full power conditions for a significant amount of time. Hi, John Baker here again. I've previously removed all of the bolts out of here. I'm going to take the elbow off, and we can see the rust that's on the coupler. We can see rust on here. That's why it needs to be lubricated. So I've removed the exhaust manifold bolts. I'm just going to drop the exhaust manifold down where it can rest all by itself on the muffler. You can see I haven't disconnected the EGTs. I just left them on, gave a little slack in the cable. So just less things to take off when you're going to do this inspection. Now we can see in the exhaust ports. Now we want to check the piston rings to make sure that they're free and check and see if there's any scuffing in there. So now I've got my nice bright light here, and we can see there's a couple of pieces of carbon that fell in there at the same time. What we want to do is we want to get those out and not let them fall inside the engine. So the easiest way to get those little pieces out is I have a little wooden stick here, and it has some grease on the end of it, and I'm just going to daub each one of them, and they'll all stick to the grease, and out they come. So I'll wipe them off, renew the grease, and I'll just keep going until it's nice and clean in there before we do our inspection. We need to get that loose debris out of there. So having secured the engine against accidental start, in other words, the key is in my pocket on this particular airplane, I'm going to rotate the propeller in whatever direction I need to go until I can see the piston rings. So there's the rings, they're visible right there. So I have my little wooden stick here. Remember, you can't use any metal tools, anything that could harm or scratch. So wood is definitely the best to use. So what I want to do is just apply some pressure on the piston ring. And you can probably see the oil film on the top or the bottom move. I'm applying some pressure and it's moving. I'm happy with that. That's the way it should be. Let's check the top ring. Yes, you can probably see the oil film move on that one. So now we've completed our inspection of the piston rings. They both move. It's very clean in that engine. So what we're going to do is reposition the piston, and we're going to have a look at the cylinder wall next. So now we're happy with our result. Both of our piston rings move nice and free. It's very clean. I'm going to rotate the prop again. Now I can see the side skirt of the piston, and this is what you'd be doing if you had a performance issue. You would want to check and go all the way through and look for any scratches or scoring on the piston, because this is actually the hot side relative to the intake side. So we got a 503 engine here. The sheet metal and the other parts are off it because I'm in the process of dismantling it. But on your airplane, you'll pull off the exhaust manifold and expose the exhaust ports. So now we can look inside. So I've got a strong flashlight here. I'm looking inside, and I'm looking at the back of the cylinder wall, and I see a crosshatch on it. You can see the lines go up and down on an angle to each other. That one passes inspection. That's quite normal. So now we'll turn the engine, make sure that it's the key is out and it's in your pocket if you're turning it by the prop or anything, so it can't start. And now we've moved it, and I'm going to look. You can see the two piston rings at the top, and then you can see the side of the piston, and it's about normal. There's a little brown on there from some carbon, but there's no scoring on it whatsoever. So that cylinder's a pass. Now let's move to the other cylinder and see what we can see there. So I've rotated the engine so that the piston is down out of the way, and wow, look at the difference there. You can see the crosshatch, and you can see that scoring that's going up and down, all those striations in there. Yeah, if you see that, that's why the engine laid down. So this needs to come apart and be repaired before you try and fly this again. Again, let's look at the piston and see what we see there. So just... Okay, there we go. So I've moved it so the piston is up. Again, we can see the piston rings, and obviously we can see a lot of scoring and striations on the side of the piston. So that's your inspection that you need to do if you have a serious performance issue with, well, your 503 or a 582. Any one of the Rotax two-cycle engines, that's the process. Thank you for watching.